This is part 3 of the LoFiification module. If you haven't seen part 1 and part 2, links in the description below. In this part, we're going over the voltage-controlled high and low-pass filters that I decided to use instead of having a digital click and pop effect. At the end, we'll see an example of what this module can do to some actual music. The voltage-controlled high-pass and low-pass filters are right out of the datasheet for the LM3700. These are not Korg-style filters. Those have 2 filtering stages and have feedback to add resonance. There are already a lot of good examples of those on the internet. What I'm going to build is just simple voltage-controlled filters. And with that, here's the schematic. It's only 2 chips, a 2-channel op amp, and an LM3700. This is the low-pass side, and this is the high-pass side. These are the inputs, and outputs are here. Voltage control comes in here. And if you don't have some of the exact values for these capacitors, it's not a big deal. You'll still get good results just by being close. Now if we take that schematic and reduce it to what's needed to etch onto a PCB, we get this. The components that will be attached to the faceplate are removed and replaced with headers. This provides spots on the PCB to run wires to later. Now off to laser cut the faceplate. This hardboard works really good for prototyping. It does smell a bit of forest fire for the first few days after you cut it though. Now to cut the traces for the PCB. I've upgraded to a stir plate. Even a cheap stir plate like this will dramatically reduce the time it takes to etch the PCB. And after only about 20 minutes, here we are. One etched PCB. And now with the paint removed from the traces, it's time to drill all the holes. Jacks and potentiometers are mounted to the faceplate. Now to populate the PCB with all the components. Attach the PCB to the faceplate. Quick power on test to check for short circuits. And now it's time to add the chips. And here's where I found I missed a solder connection. And I also needed to add this capacitor and resistor to the output of the high-pass filter to remove DC bias. Which brings us to this final schematic. Now to demonstrate how the filters work, I'm going to use the 1 kHz test tone my oscilloscope provides. I'm just going to show the scope traces. No one needs to be subjected to this actual sound. And here's the high-pass filter. Here's the low-pass filter. I think they will work great and have the desired effect that I want. Just to reiterate, these are not Korg-style resonant filters. Just simple, low-pole filters that are not too aggressive and have voltage control. Now let's hook up the filters to the rest of the LoFiification module and run some music through it. Unfortunately, the sample and hold stopped working, but all the other components from the module are affecting the sound. Now I'm not much of a composer, so I decided to use a song that had just come out of copyright a few days ago, Rhapsody in Blue by George Gershwin. To make it lo-fi, I added some beats to it and output it through a sound canvas that then went through a breadboard to boost the signal and then through the LoFiification module. Enjoy. If you want to listen to the whole song, all 30 minutes of it, link in the description below. I think this module has potential, so I'm going to turn it into a product that other people can enjoy, which will be covered in the next part, which might take a while to come out, as there are some other projects I'm working on that I want to do videos about first. Thanks for watching.